people don't actually struggle to get lean, they struggle to stay lean. Now, just for the reference of this video, I would class 12% body fat as an elite lifestyle shape, something that is genuinely maintainable for men that are busy, you've got work stress going on, maybe you've got a kid, maybe you've got a couple of kids, a wife. It's maintainable even in those circumstances, even when you're busy. You've got visible abs, you look athletic, you're pretty much going to be confident all year round. I would say that 12% body fat is definitely the upper limit of what's maintainable long term in terms of body fat percentages and in terms of living a lifestyle for the gym. And achieving 12% body fat, it's not about putting yourself through the ringer and going through short-term suffering to get there. You need to build a system that's designed to keep you there once you get there. Like, short-term progress is not the key here. The first thing is that you are so much further away than you think. And I speak to so many people on a daily basis who say that, oh yeah, I just need to lose a few kilos to get to where I want to be. It's more than that. If you're watching this video and you're thinking, oh, I probably need to cut for 4, 6, 8 weeks to get to where I want to be, in reality, you're probably looking at a 4 to 6 month controlled diet. So you are probably fatter than you think. And that's not an insult, it's just the truth. Something I've discovered after speaking to loads of people and coaching loads of people to lose fat and get lean. You often underestimate how much fat you actually need to lose to get to where you want to be. To get to 12%, it's actually relatively simple. You need a daily step goal. I typically start at 8,000 because that should be more than manageable for everyone, and I'll scale that up by increments of 2K when I need to. You need to be doing LISS cardio, so low intensity, steady state cardio. This is done in zone 2. Zone 2 cardio is cardio done at 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. And the reason why I prefer using that method of cardio is because it's the most efficient method of cardio for fat loss. So in zone 2, your body uses its fat stores as energy as opposed to anything higher, which will revert to carb stores. So in essence, with LISS cardio, you are attacking the problem at its source. You also need to be training. Training is something that gets massively slept on even when people are trying to lose weight. You need to think, if you want to get really lean, you want to get down to 12% body fat, and you want to look as good as possible, you don't want to be flat, you don't want to be stringy, which means that you need to be training, and you need to be training hard, you need to be tracking your lifts, and you need to be applying progressive overload. So in order for you to retain and maintain the muscle mass that you've got, the tissue that you've got, so that when you get down to 12%, you do genuinely look great, I always recommend 2 to 5 training sessions per week. It's ideal the more that you can do, but I'm aware that some of you watching this video will be a little bit tight for time. So if you can train 2 times a week, I would do full body. If you can train 3 times a week, I would do 2 upper sessions, 1 lower session. 4 times, I would do 2 upper sessions, 2 lower sessions. And then if I was doing a 5-day split, I would do pull, push, lower, rest, or pull, lower, rest. That is the split that I'm doing. In a nutshell, with training, if you don't train or you're training not really that hard, you may get down to 12%, but you're not going to look that great. Now, getting down to 12%, it's not sexy. You don't need to do anything fancy. It's all about just nailing the basics for a consistent period. That's all it is. So with food, protein stays high all year round, no matter what phase you're in. I always opt for 1 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. In a fat loss phase, I would typically opt for 1.2 grams because it's satiating, helps keep you full, and also helps to optimize recovery. Carbs do not get touched. So many people, when they enter a fat loss phase, will completely cut carbs, and I'm just thinking, what are you doing? Carbs are your body's most utilized source of energy, so the most efficient and most effective source of energy. If you completely slash them out, that's going to affect your training. You're not going to be able to train as hard. You're not going to feel as energized throughout the day. So to lessen the effects of a cut, to allow you to feel energized and to allow you to actually go into the gym and train hard, carbs must stay in. Prioritize your carbs around your training window. So you want to focus on peri-workout nutrition. So carbs pre-workout to help fuel your training, carbs post-workout to help replenish lost glycogen and to kickstart your recovery. Fats, so obviously you want to be consuming healthy fats. Fats are key to help regulate normal bodily functions and to also regulate your hormones. So as a basic rule of thumb, I always program 40 grams of healthy fats minimum per day, coming from things like avocado, dark chocolate, olive oil, peanut butter, nuts. So to hit 12%, weekends can't be off the rails. You need to make sure that weekends are regimented, they're planned for, and that you're still on track to some degree, because if you do go off track at the weekend, you are 100% going to undo all of your hard work in the week in just those 2 days on the weekend. So if you do generally want to get to 12%, you want to get incredibly lean, weekends must be structured, they must be regimented, and they must be on plan. Now, as I'm sure you're all aware, diet is the area where most people slip up. It's incredibly hard to stay on track with the diet. I mean, eating the right foods, I'm eating the right calories. My biggest tip to help you stay on track with your diet is to consume the same 10 meals on rotation. I know this sounds a little bit boring, and I know this sounds a little bit repetitive, but that's what fat loss is. It's boring and repetitive. It's about doing the same things day in, day out for a real long period of time to help you maintain a deficit, to help you strip off body fat. So by having those same 10 meals on repeat, you know what to buy from the food shop, you know the quantities, you know how much you need to prep, it makes the whole process so much easier, and it's going to allow you to stay to your calories and macros 100% without fail, which is going to guarantee that you're always heading in the right direction with the fat loss, which means that you'll be actively progressing week to week. The big issue with fat loss is that most men, they put the effort in and they get lean, but as soon as they get to that goal, their plan just crumbles. Cardio drops, food gets bumped up massively, steps are missed, your structure just disappears, and then a few months later down the line, you're wondering, why have I regained all of that weight? You regained all of that weight because you stopped trying. A lot of men live the fat loss life like it's temporary, so they hit their goal and then they revert back to how they were before. Poor habits, lackluster training, and you end up piling all of that weight back on. The harsher your cut, the harder it is to maintain. So take things steady, it'll be much easier to maintain. Then to maintain 12% body fat, you need to be sleeping 7 to 8 hours per night. That's 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. You need to have a structured training program where you are going in, you're progressing, you're tracking lifts, and you're training with intensity, you're training to failure. Daily movement, so a step goal that you can hit under any circumstance, and then some cardio sessions per week done in zone 2. I just want to reinforce that staying at 12% body fat, it's not about intensity, it's not about firing all the time, it's just about staying consistent. That's all it is. The hard part is building the habits to help keep you there, even when life gets busy and even when life gets a little bit chaotic. If you've been through this cycle that I've mentioned in this video, losing the fat, regaining it, losing the fat, regaining it, and repeating that, you do not need another diet. You need a structure that is built to fit around your lifestyle to help you get to 12% and stay there. So that's gonna wrap up the video, people. I hope you found it useful. If you've got any questions or any queries, drop me a comment in the DMs and I'll be sure to get that replied to. Hope you found it useful. Drop me a like, drop me a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.